So, as we've talked, DBP's got four main components that we provide to customers when they sign up with us. All those components are integrated. The first one you're talking about is the customer-facing website. So that's what we're looking at on screen now. This is just an example of one of our client sites that we use. And then we've got a second component, more of the back-end admin day-to-day operations tools. That's where you and your staff would be logged in, dealing with anything from customer management to billing to packing, routing, inventory management, all that fun stuff. And we'll take a look at it. Third component, we've got driver software, if it makes sense for your company. Allows you to edit orders on the road, place orders on the road, return deposits, get signatures, text customers, email invoices to customers, anything like that, as well as get directions to your next stop. So that's a native Android app that we've got that can work on phones, tablets, computers, etc. And then fourth, we handle all the IT related aspects, so hosting, data backups, PCI compliance, security, all the geeky IT server related stuff. So kind of back to what we're looking at on screen here. Example of our customer front end. We really feel like it's important to look professional there, so that your customers feel good about your company brand, feel good about entering their payment details, feel good about telling their friends. So we've really got some world-class designers on our team that during the design process are going to work with you to make sure this front end appearance is awesome. We really like to have dynamic data. We're going to have slideshows right off the bat, with some value statements and calls to action, whether that's bouncing you into shop for products or giving you a call to action to register. And then as you scroll down the page and start kind of investigating this company, we like to have a mission area. It doesn't have to be a mission. It could be a banner that talks about how local your products are, but just kind of a section that's going to give them an idea of what your company methodology is. And then you'll see from there we get right into dynamic data. So this is a listing of all the categories you've got. We like to make our categories visual, so we like to have icons or graphics that you upload per category. We'll show you how to manage those when we do the training. You'll see you could bounce into a particular category, or you could shop all products. And then as you start scrolling down, you're going to see featured products. That's something you guys will control on the back end. We encourage people to change those from week to week. You'll see some of these items are on sale, and it's denoting that. If we keep scrolling down, we're going to see new products, so things that we've added in the last X days. And again, that's a category or setting that you guys will control. And then we get into anything that you've got on sale. So right off the bat, as the customer's kind of browsing through your homepage, they're seeing dynamic product and being enticed to shop or register or kind of check out your different offerings. You'll see we're very heavily recurring order driven, as is everybody in this industry. So you can not only add items as a one-time this week, one-time next week, but also weekly, every other week, monthly, any other flavors that you guys end up turning on. You could actually turn on every 6 weeks or every 18 weeks if you'd like to. We've got a beautiful detail page of all of our products. We like to really have high quality product detail images, so we're going to work with you during the design phase, talk about the sizes we like. We've got a great video that's going to walk you through resizing videos and how to get those uploaded into the system. And you'll see that we do suggestive selling. So anytime you're looking at product, we're suggesting other things that you should be purchasing. So we've related ground beef and chicken legs and cherry tomatoes here to our custom meals product. So that's, again, something you guys control. If you don't assign cross-sells to a product like this, we're going to randomly generate those based on the most popular products in this category. So any way you cut it, we're going to be showing dynamic data as much as possible. This whole description area with tabs, you can actually control other tabs that you want to add. So if you'd like to have a tab that's called ingredients, or a tab that's called recipes, or a tab that's called storage tips, you can actually add those directly in the back end. So if there's additional information you want to display for a product, that's easy to do. You'll notice that we've got full inventory tracking. So this is saying we've got 1,000 of these left. You guys can update inventory in a number of ways in the back end, but anything that happens here on the front end as customers are ordering is going to decrement inventory, or as they remove items, it might increment inventory. So it's full real-time inventory in the system. Really flexible with how this site is laid out. So we talked a bit about this home page. If you don't want to have sliders, you don't have to have sliders. If you don't want to have an our mission section, you don't have to. We're going to work with you on what your sitemap looks like, what pages you need, and then what content's going to go on there. We really like to gather personal assets from you guys during that design phase, whether it's pictures of your truck or your family or your farmers or your crops, a good client you've got. We want to get as much of those into the designer's hands as we can, so that as they're building out the site, they can sprinkle those throughout content. So, for example, on your About Us page, maybe this is a conglomeration of different photos that are very local to you guys. So it's all stuff that you'll work through in the design phase. The main point of this customer front end is to really present a professional feel for your company. Customers are going to be able to shop, they can register, they can log in. And during all those different actions, you've got a ton of different communications you can set up that will automatically go out. So whether it's an email that goes out after they register or an email that goes out after they place their very first order, emails that are delivery reminders or cutoff time reminders. There's about 30 different types of automatic emails that you can have go out to customers based on different actions they're performing. This is also going to automatically register a customer onto a route. So in the back end, you guys would have either drawn shapes on maps and outlined your route boundaries, or maybe you're very zip code centric, and so you've tied zip codes to routes. Either way you do it, when a customer registers, they're going to automatically be placed on a route either based on their zip code or their latitude and longitude. So that means that they can start shopping right away. They get that instant satisfaction of, okay, I'm on a Wednesday route. I know my cutoff time is Tuesday at noon. I'm going to start assembling my orders, and they can see those right away. All of our address type functions in the system are automatically matching. So you'll see this please enter your delivery address banner at the top. That's always present until we enter our address. So if I go into the shopping interface and I try and add this bratwurst, you'll see it says please verify your delivery address. And if I click that, it just focuses my mouse cursor into that field. By default, we just show the company location, so your location that you deliver from. And I'm just going to type that in here. And you'll see it comes up with matches as I'm typing. So I'm going to choose my particular match. It says, congratulations, you're in the delivery area. So that's something we feel is important, is we want to check and make sure that this guy's in your delivery area. If he's not, we don't want him wasting his time assembling an order only to find out at checkout that you can't deliver to him. So we get that out of the way right up front. They could either do that directly by going to register, or as they're shopping, they've always got the opportunity to enter that. So at this point, we could start adding items to our order. You'll see that next week is checkbox by default. This week I can't even click into. That's because the route that I will be assigned to is already past its cutoff time for this week. So I've only got the opportunity to add to either next week or recurring items. So if I go ahead and browse through some of our categories here, let's take a look at grass-fed milk. And let's say I want grass-fed milk on a weekly basis. And click add. See the next step it says is when do you want to start this delivery? And you'll see that it would put me onto a Wednesday route. So I've got any of my upcoming Wednesdays that I could choose from. So I'll go ahead and keep the 9th selected. Hit OK, and you'll see it puts an overlay over that graphic that says 1 has been added to my delivery. And then up here in the cart icon, it shows that there's 1 item in there. So if I open that up, it shows we've got that set as a weekly frequency, and it's going to start delivery on the 9th. Once you're done shopping, you could check out at any time. But in essence, we could have a plethora of different frequencies in our cart. Whether I'd added a next week item, a monthly item, etc. I'll go ahead and add a couple other things here just so that we've got some data to look at. So when I open up my cart, I can go ahead and check out, deliver my stuff. You'll see it gives me a quick summary. Also tells me at the top here, you're only $43.01 away from reaching a lower delivery fee of $0. So if you set up delivery charge incentives, a tiered delivery fee, that's going to let the customers know right away. It's a great marketing tool. So it lets me know my next week delivery. I've got my low-fat milk coming. I've got up until Saturday, November 5th at 8 p.m. to change my order. Again, that's a cutoff time you guys will control. Shows me next delivery available, where it's being delivered to, again, the cutoff time. And then it shows me other items I've added. So these are all my weekly items that I added on a recurring schedule. And if I click checkout, it's going to bounce me over and allow me to, number one, edit my delivery address that I entered. So if I want to correct that or change it, I could do that, and it'll recheck if I'm in the delivery area. And if I continue through, it'll ask for the rest of my personal details. So we'll put in all of our information. We use email addresses as the username. Who referred you field, they could type anything in there. Saw your truck, I was at the farmer's market, John Doe. We've got a whole friend referral system built in where you can actually incentivize customers to tell their friends, maybe give them a $2 credit for the next 3 deliveries, or free delivery charge on the next 1 delivery. All sorts of ways you can set that up, as well as email communications that will automatically go out as soon as you approve a friend referral. You could have a coupon code in there. It's a great system to really build your customer base. You'll see it formats your phone number as you put it in. I'm going to continue, and I've got the opportunity to enter my billing address if it's different than my delivery address. I'm going to keep it the same for now. Typically, you're going to have credit card and e-check as payment methods, so we'll tie into your gateway and merchant account, and they're the ones who actually store that credit card information, which helps make you guys PCI compliant. For this demo, I've turned on check payment method, so we can accept a paper check, just so I can get through the process here. And then when I finish, you'll see that our profile has been successfully created, shows us our deliveries again, our delivery summary, and we're set to go. So simple as that. The customer has been placed on a route. They've been able to order both recurring items and one-time items. They're free to come back and start shopping again anytime they want. If they want to add some other items right now, they could do that, and it would be added to their upcoming deliveries. So really easy interface for the customers, beautiful interface, works on mobile. This was designed mobile first, so for phones, tablets. You'll see they've got an entire account area up here where anytime they can now go in and edit their personal information, view all of their upcoming deliveries. If they've got a veggie bag or a veggie box type of product in here, they could modify the contents. We could update our payment info. They can set vacation dates, which is a great feature. Say, hey, I'll be out of town X date to X date. And they could add that vacation, and then they could add another vacation and another vacation. So they can have as many of those as they want, really plan out into the future. And that'll actually remove their orders from your system for those date ranges so that you don't pack and deliver those. And obviously wouldn't be included in billing as well. Recurring items, it's just a quick list of all the items I've got set at a frequency, and I can change those anytime I want. Delivery history. Great, kind of breakdown of all the accounting that's happened with my system. So whether it's a delivery charge or an order or some type of credit or adjustment that staff has issued me, I'll be able to see that right here in the back end. And then you've got a preferences section where you can subscribe to the newsletter. You can choose when you'd like to receive your delivery reminder emails. I could choose several here the day of and 2 days before. And then if your company deals with dislikes or veggie boxes, customers have the opportunity to say, these are some things that I never want to receive. And that'll drill into some reports you can pull that will say, here's everybody who doesn't like apples, and allow you to pack based off of that. So that's just kind of a quick rundown on the front end. As I said, super flexible on how we set this up. The pages you've got, the graphics that are in the pages, content. We help you maintain that. So, for example, these rotating photos on the home page, you could ping us on support anytime and say, hey, we're going to be at a farmer's market selling chocolate dipped strawberries on Saturday. Any way you guys could put together a slider into our slideshow that talks about that. And we're happy to help out with things like that and keep your site looking professional. You've also got tools in the back end, though, where you can update things like that yourselves. So if you've got a graphics guy in-house that's good at putting together slider images, you can actually do that through the back end. Or if you wanted to update the content on your About Us page and you're comfortable formatting it and putting in pictures and whatnot, you've got the tools in the back end to do it. So that's a quick rundown on the front end. Let's bounce into more of the back end day-to-day operations suite of tools. So this is where you and your staff would be logged in, dealing with anything from customer management to billing to packing, inventory, communicating, etc. Beautiful dashboard right off the bat. You can control who sees this. So this might be a dashboard that only owners see. You'll see it gives you some interesting stats right off the bat. This month's sales versus last month's sales, this week's sales versus last week, total customers, new customers, etc. And then you've got some interactive graphs that you can play with here. Important information. So, for example, I'm looking at this month versus last month's sales dates. And I can see that this month is in blue, last month's in gray. I'm not doing so hot compared to last month. It says we're 99.22 this month, 50,000 last month. We could look at this year versus last year. You'll see that graph changes dynamically. According to this graph, we're doing great. This year is way above last year, although we take a dip here at the end of the year because the year's not done yet. So really important information right off the bat that you can browse through. You can also get into recurring sales, which are important to all of us. That's really the bread and butter of any delivery company, is how much in recurring sales do we have. So if I look at all recurring sales, it says we've got 11,008. And then if we hold our mouse over some of these bars, it'll let you know that Monday's recurring sales is 5,126. If I wanted to see what our weekly recurring sales were, we can drill it down by that, or our every other week, or our monthly, or any other frequencies that you guys have turned on. If you deal with deposit charges at all, whether that's a cooler that you pick back up from the customer when they cancel, or a milk bottle that you pick back up with every delivery, a crate, a box, anything like that, we've got a whole deposit charges system built into this in here, where you could tie that deposit to a certain product. So anytime a milk is ordered, there's a milk bottle deposit, or you could just tie it to every order. So with every order, we're going to have a box. So here's a box deposit. Or you could have a one-time deposit. So here's a cooler deposit, and when you cancel service, we're going to collect that back. So this will track your deposits, and then delivery charges let you know again what delivery charges have been charged for certain date ranges, what that looks like compared to other date ranges. And then just kind of scrolling down here to the next panel, customers panel, you're going to see similar data. What were our registrations this year versus last year? Any other date range you choose in that drop down. What do our cancellations look like? How many customers have we disabled in the system for certain date ranges? And then retention, it's going to give you information as far as how many people have registered versus how many people have canceled. So great data to kind of keep an eye on as you're doing different promotions. Top performers. This section is going to let you know what the top orders are, top customers, top products, top routes. Again, a great thing to kind of keep an eye on to see who the top performers are in the system. Average order totals, this is something that everybody wants to increase, and it's something that we really feel like our system does a great job at, just because of all the dynamic data that's presented, the cross-selling, the first-time order specials, coupon codes, featured products, sale items. Lots of things you can be doing in the back end here to move and shake with your existing customer base. So this is an important graph to watch as you do promotions. Are your average order totals going up or down? What are those? What are the order counts involved with those? And then you've got the same type of information with billing, what credit cards, whether it's MasterCard, Visa, American Express, which types have been charged, what declines are looking like for certain date ranges, any adjustments or credits that your staff has entered into our system, you'd be able to report directly here in this graph. And then what's outstanding in the system for certain date ranges. Promotions panel here on the right, this is just going to keep an eye on all the different promotions you have going on, whether those are first-time order specials or cross-sells or global discounts, sale items. This will kind of let you know what all your staff has put on special. And then same with this products panel, you've actually got the ability to watch specific products. So I could type in a product name and find a match here. What happened there? Type in a product name here, find a match, grab a product and say I want to add that to my watch list. And then that'll show us what the price is, what the cost, quantity sold, total sales, and that's all based on this week that we could change that filter. You could also look at what you have the lowest of inventory on your shelves in, or the highest inventory, in other words, what's costing you the most on your shelves, what you have on feature right now, what you have on cross-sell, first-time order specials, sale items, etc. And then we've got our handy-dandy change log where you can always check out what we've been doing lately in the system. We're constantly updating things, keeping up with technology, the latest browsers, the latest third-party tools, latest technology in general. So one of the key features of the system is dealing with customers and their data. So if you've got a customer that calls you on the phone, or you just plain need to pop into a customer's profile and do something to their account, you've got a quick search up here. I could type in John, for example, and it brings up all the Johns in the system. And if I bounce into Cheryl Johnson, from her profile screen, it's designed to give you everything you need to deal with this customer while you've got them on the phone. So for example, I could edit this customer's order, I could enter a note about this customer, I could issue a credit or an adjustment, I could update any of their personal profile information, I could update their payment method, I could set their preferences. So anything that the customer could do on the front end, you guys can do back here and more. Instantly I can see that her current balance is $9.69. Total sales this week is $5. So she's not a very big customer. If I've got her on the phone, this products panel here is showing me her most popular products. So things that she orders the most. So I could easily say, hey, Cheryl, it looks like you don't have your dozen free-range eggs this week. Would you like me to add those for you? And she might say, oh, sure, that sounds great. You click that button, boom, it gets added to her order. She's actually past the cutoff, but admins aren't restricted by the cutoff times. So now she's got an order for this week. We could also look at her upcoming orders, so anything that she's got in her future deliveries. We could look at any of her recurring items. We can look at her order history and see all the different line items that she's had for orders and delivery charges and whatnot. So you could easily add a recurring item just by doing a quick search here, or you could browse products and bring up a whole interface with tabbed categories, where we can checkbox several different things at once and add them all. So a quick interface for admins to update orders. You could also get into their notes section, and I could enter a detailed note, for example, which will actually track who entered that note and what day and time. You can set a follow-up date. So you could say Judd called on 11/2 and complained of cracked eggs, so I went ahead and gave him a $2 credit. And you could save that, and so anytime other admin staff came into this account, they'd be able to see the latest notes that have been added here. You can also put in recurring notes that all admins would see at all times. So this is a super important company. Make sure we treat them right, that type of note. You can put in driver notes that would show up for drivers either in the tablets or in our paper route sheets. So there's a plethora of different types of notes, and those are all searchable that you can set up in here. You can also get into their entire billing history. So again, line item detail of credit card payments, orders, delivery charges, credits that we've issued. You'll see that you could enter a check payment right here if you'd received a paper check. You could issue a credit or an adjustment just using the type field over here. So really flexible on how you want to work with a customer's balance. You can actually issue credits directly into the system instead of crediting their credit card and incurring that fee. You can actually just issue a credit to their internal balance. I'm just going to kind of go down the line here in the left admin menu. Customers, obviously you guys can do a much deeper search for customers. You can create a brand new customer. You can control fields that show up in their profiles. You can import and export customers. We've got membership levels, which is just a great way to group customers. So if you want to offer group discounts or higher delivery charges in a certain area, or maybe you want to show a certain set of products to only a subgroup of your customers, all of that can be accomplished with membership levels. You can create as many admins as you want in the system and limit their access to different menu items on the left here through access control. Same thing with drivers. You can give drivers access where they could log in and use a limited set of tools. They could print their own route sheets, organize their own route stops, maybe return deposits, but that's about it. Suppliers are important in our system. You can create suppliers and tie those to products, and that'll allow you to do a ton of different things. You can report based on supplier. You can create purchase orders. So for example, I could create a purchase order for Judd's Cheese Farm based on this week's orders, and it would pre-populate a nice PDF ready to send off to my supplier, and then I could check in that inventory. So suppliers are pretty key in the system. Product management, really robust tools to manage products. Whether you want to mass update 50 products at once and move them all into a different category, or you just want to bounce into one particular product and edit the picture or the category or the price. Really flexible with how you can do that. You'll see from the search results here, we could mass update our inventory levels or our pricing or price per pound or cost or our retail price. Again, we could checkbox several products and modify them all at once. If I just click into one, and go to the detail page, this is where we could enter a SKU or a supplier or a product teaser. You'll see you've got a WYSIWYG editor in here for entering your description, so you can get fancy with that. You could put things in a main category as well as 100 other additional categories, set your inventory levels, set all your pricing options, your cost, etc. And I won't bore you guys with all the advanced options here, but suffice it to say we've made the system really modular. So if you want to make a product behave a certain way, most likely we've got a setting where you can do that. So for example, you could say this product can only be recurring, or it can only be one time, or maybe it's a pre-order turkey that you're going to put up there that doesn't get delivered for another couple months. So lots of ways that you can set up products. Same thing with categories. You guys control your entire category structure, main categories, subcategories, sub-subcategories. You can import and export products. That's a great way to work in the system, is to export all of your products into a spreadsheet, make a couple quick changes, re-import it, and you've just updated everything. You can do that with pricing. You can do it with inventory. You can do it with descriptions, any field really. And then get into some of the more fun stuff, route management. As I said earlier, we really like to automatically assign people to routes, either based on zip codes or shapes on a map. So we automatically track the latitude and longitude as people register. We can put them on a route or multiple routes automatically. So that's something that you guys would set up under Manage KML here, is a map with shapes of all your route boundaries, and that would govern route assignment henceforth. You can create as many routes as you'd like to in the system, 5, 10, 15, 150. All those routes, you're going to give a different name. You're going to assign a day to it and a cutoff time. You get some other options here where you could assign drivers to that route. You can holiday shift routes. So you can say this week Christmas is on a Tuesday, so I'm going to shift that Tuesday route to be a Thursday. You can put routes on vacations. You can put in pop-up messages that would pop up for customers when they log in and they're assigned to that route. You can even put in special bag label notes that would show up on our bag or pack labels for just that route. Another interesting thing is you can set your start and end locations per route. So if you start at the warehouse, but you let your driver take the truck home and so he ends at his house, you can set a different end location per route. So once you've got your route names established, and you've got people on those routes and they've got orders, one of the things you or your drivers are going to do is organize your route stops each week. So the idea is that you may have a route with 250 people on it, but this week only 62 have orders. So you're going to take a completely different path through that route than you usually would. So either the driver or admins can come into this interface and they can load a route into the organized route stop screen. I think the guys are working on this. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it does. Nice. So you'll see it gives us a nice visual of all of our pins on the route. And again, this is only customers that have orders this week. It says the number of deliveries we've got is 47. And we could scroll through this list of customers and kind of see who they are. I can click somebody and it'll show me where they're at on the map, show me their information, show me any driver notes associated with them. I could also click a pin and it'll do that same thing, show me who that is. And you'll see it shows us the distance that each of these stops is from where our trucks leave. So we're starting at 25 Meadow Road here. You've got a lot of different action items at this point. I could suggest the best route, which would get your drive time as low as possible. So you'll see right now it's 185 miles, 355 minutes. That would get your drive time as low as possible. We could reposition by distance, shortest to farthest from where the trucks leave from, or we could reverse the existing route order, so run it backwards. Now, we can also do one of those and then still hand manipulate it. So if Lucas King really has to have delivery by 6 a.m., we could actually grab Lucas and just drag him up and drop him into the first spot. Or you can click position number fields here. So if you're more comfortable working with a position number, I could say I want this guy to be position number 10, and then save it. You'll see we've also got a lock icon. So if you need to lock a customer into a specific spot, always, you can use that lock icon. Now, the other interesting tool on this page is we can view several different routes on top of each other. So if I want to see my Thursday wholesale route on top of my Asheville home delivery route, I can do that, and you'll see now we've got some green pins on this map. So that's the other route. That's handy when you're really trying to manipulate your routes, break one route up into two smaller routes, make a bigger route, etc. You can actually checkbox people right on the screen, and we can move them using this move tool to a different location or a different route. So whatever organization you guys put to this screen, whether you suggest the best route, do it by distance, hand manipulate, etc., that's going to determine how your route sheets print, how your bag label or pack labels print. That's going to determine how invoices print, if you want to print invoices in route order. Lots of different things are affected by this screen in the system. So once you had organized your route stops, then you're set to start packing, because you can print your packing materials in route order. So we might go down here to print route sheets, for example. And this screen allows us to not only print a route sheet for the driver, or a manifest of everything he needs to load on the truck as well as deliver, but you could also print your bag labels or your pack labels directly from the screen. So I'm going to choose that same route, Asheville home delivery. I'm going to say show only customers with orders this week. And I'm just going to show it on screen. But you'll see we could also download a PDF. We could export to Excel, export to CSV, and then you'll see that print bag labels button. So this has given us a manifest. At the top here shows us the date, who the driver is, how many deliveries, and then stop 0 is actually where the trucks leave from. So this is everything that needs to be loaded on that truck in total to complete the entire route. So some companies will load their truck and let their drivers actually pack the customer orders at the door. Other companies will pre-pack each customer's order. So you'll see stop 1 is Becca Trow. Here's what she needs dropped off at her stop. Stop 2 is Adrian. There's what they need at their house. There's a spot here where the driver could handwrite some notes. So if he wanted to say, hey, I stopped by this house and wasn't able to deliver, do you guys want to skip it? He would turn this paperwork back into staff after the route, and staff could go in and make any adjustments that they needed to. Our driver software also handles that. So if you want to automate those functions of modifying an order on the road, or placing an order on the road, or returning deposits, you can automate all that through our driver tablet. So this gives you a nice manifest of all your different stops. You'll see at the top here we've also got the opportunity to print turn-by-turn directions, as well as a map. So those generate automatically in the system so that you can print those. We also have a GPS export. So if you use TomToms or some other type of GPS unit, the Garmin Nuvi, for example, you can export a GPS file right to that unit that'll have all your stops in the order that you've organized them ready to go. So that's handy to hand off to a new driver. Your existing driver is sick, you've got a new guy coming in, you could hand him a GPS unit and would have his route ready to go. Bag labels. Rick, I'm not going to show him that, but typically I would have the PDF in another window over here that I'd be able to just, boom, slide over and talk real quick about our bag labels template. And I just kind of slide through those and talk about how cool those are to really organize packing. You're going to print those in route order. You've got several Avery templates you could choose. Some people use sticky labels, so they'll stick stuff on the outside of boxes or bags. Some people use luggage tags, and so they'll be printing more of a business card type thing that they slide into a luggage tag. You don't have to use bag labels. You could pack off of 8.5 by 11 invoices. So if you're going to drop one of those in the box anyway, might as well just print those in route order and print off or pack off of those. Some people pack off of this route sheet here that we were looking at. So it just depends on the customer, but we've got lots of different packing tools that we can customize to a degree to your particular install. So for example, swaps or making anything over a quantity of 1 bold and red. We've got the flexibility to do that on our packing materials. From there, if you guys have pickup locations, we support that. So you can do both home delivery as well as pickup locations as well as commercial wholesale delivery. So our system supports all of those. You can actually tie pickup locations to routes and let customers choose those on the front end while they're checking out. Kind of bouncing down from there into billing, we tie in with whatever merchant account and gateway you want to use.
Judd, your screen's not showing.
Oh, it's because I slid over. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
All right. Let me change it to just that again. All right. So billing, we tie in with whatever merchant account and gateway you guys want to use. So whether that's authorized.net or Chase Payment Tech or Stripe, it's got to be a PCI compliant gateway that we've integrated with before. They actually store the credit cards, and we communicate just via this code token. That makes it so that you guys are PCI compliant, we're PCI compliant. Nobody can see the credit card data or the e-check. So once we've tied in with your gateway, pretty simple to do billing. You click on electronic billing. Lots of people will bill at cutoff time. Lots of people will bill after delivery. It just kind of depends on your business model. If you've got deposits that you pick up during delivery, or you modify orders on delivery, probably makes sense to do your billing after delivery has happened. If you don't allow a lot of that type of stuff, you're safe to bill maybe after the cutoff time. So you could either come in here and say, gosh, I want to bill everybody for their deliveries through today, and just click search. Comes back the list of everybody who owes us money, and I could click bill selected here at the bottom, and it would bill a total amount of $15,753, give everybody a receipt, a decline notice, update their account balance, give you feedback as far as who processed, who declined, etc. So you could bill everybody in a batch. You could bill a specific customer if you just wanted to bill one person. You could choose routes that you want to bill. You could choose membership levels, all sorts of flexibility in how you want to bill. You could also, with these tabs up above, charge just one specific order, or I could charge a specific amount. So I want to charge this customer $500. You can always look at your detailed transaction log to see, past transactions and what they did. So after you do your billing, really you're done. You can look at who declined, decide if you want to put them on hold and keep delivering. They've already received a decline notice that you guys control and been prompted to come to the website, update their credit card details, etc. So we could literally come in here and click that search button every 5 minutes, and you can't double bill somebody. It's only going to show you people that actually still owe you money. So billing is really just click of a button, and we can automate that if we need to. So if you want to automatically charge credit cards at the cutoff time, we do have some installs where we'll just run that on a cron script. You've also got some other things related to billing. If you needed to mass update payments, you could do that. Import a spreadsheet of credits or adjustments. You can mass deposit returns and charges manually in the back end if you're not using the driver software. So I could pull up a list of people on a route and enter in how many bottles or boxes they had returned in that pickup. You can, from there, get into a ton of different types of reports. So we've got sales reports that will get into things like overall sales, pretty typical report, show you what all was ordered at what price, and then your totals. So from 11.3 to 11.3, this is everything that's been ordered, total of 8 sales for a total of $1,168.92. You can export all of our reports. You can print all of our reports. You can sort by column headers. Most of the time you can communicate with the result set or maybe issue a credit. So most all of our reports are multi-purpose. For example, the ordered products report, if I wanted to find everybody who's ordered peanut butter before because I've got a new brand that I want to push, you can actually just enter a SKU or a product name and choose a product and say, I want to see everybody who's got this in their recurring order, or I want to see everybody who's got it this week or last week, or a custom date range. And then you can actually communicate with the result set, send out an email, maybe include a coupon code, etc. Then you can get into financial reporting, things like credit report, what all credits and adjustments have been issued in my system for a certain date range. We've got financial exports where you can export all the line item detail for every customer into a CSV file and then import that into other programs. You could look at all the past due customers. You could look at all the payments that have been posted of certain types for certain date ranges and get totals there to kind of balance against your account. You could look at your profit. So if you're entering your cost per product, you can pull profit reports. You could see what all taxes of different types have been collected for certain date ranges, see what your average orders are doing for certain date ranges. And then product reporting, you get into things like forecasts and inventory. So forecast, for example, I could say, what do I need to have on hand based on this week's orders? And it shows me that for all routes, for everything this week, this is everything I need to have on my shelves. Gives you totals at the bottom, 2,184 items. Again, we could sort by column headers. We can export this, print it, etc. Inventory report is going to show you where you're at with inventory levels, what you're low on, what you're high on. Bagged items report is a very specialized packing tool. So if you guys wanted to have a separate packing crew that does only frozen items, or a separate packing crew that does only refrigerated items, you could pull just those items in a packing report. Some people use that to sell things at a price per pound. So maybe they'll let the customer say they want approximately 2 pounds of ground beef, but they actually weigh it out and it's 2.24. And so they've got a tool where they can pull up only the weighed items and say, here's the new weight, here's the new weight, here's the new weight, and then hit update and it'll recalculate all the order prices. Then you can get into customer reporting, things like the friend referral report, who all has referred friends, what do the incentives look like, new customers report, how many new customers have we had for certain date ranges, allows you to reach out and communicate with those people. You can even track if you have called them or emailed them. If you'd like to give people that personal touch and have somebody follow up by phone, it'll track that they've done that. Another cool report, no order customers report. Great way to reach out to people that haven't placed an order in the last X days. Communicate with them, maybe send them a coupon code and invite them back to service. So it gives you the opportunity to email those people. And then from there, marketing tools, I've touched on it a bit, but we're very marketing centric on that front end. You've got featured products, you've got cross sells, you've got sale items, you've got first time order specials, you've got coupon codes, you've got categories you can set up that will automatically show those sale items, categories that will automatically show new items. You've got the ability to set up global discounts, quantity discounts, membership level pricing, all sorts of stuff. So these links will get you directly into what do I have on feature, what do I have on sale, etc. Allow your staff to modify those on a weekly basis. Along with that marketing piece, I'll kind of bounce down into communications. But we've got the ability to send out mass emails, and we actually plug into your email server so those emails are coming through your domain, so they're less likely to get blocked by spam. But you could blast out a general email once a week, once a month, your marketing flyer. You've also got an entire autoresponders list where you can set up these automated emails to go out. So anything from your credit cards expiring soon, so those types of emails will automatically go out, to you've registered but never placed an order, your order cutoff time is approaching, we received your first order, how was your first delivery. So all of these can be set up at different frequencies with the content that you guys want. You'll see again there's a WYSIWYG editor built in here, and you can personalize these emails. So we've injected this person's first name, but through the special tags dropdown, you could inject all sorts of things: their balance, or their customer info, or their order information, order history. Any of these tags will put in special data into these emails that help personalize them. And you'll see this one's set up to go out once after the first delivery is received. And if we click that dropdown, there are a ton of different types we could set up. So for example, send X days after Y delivery. It's great to really set up a train of those emails. So let's follow up and incentivize people after their 15th delivery. And then here's what goes out after their 30th delivery, and then their 45th. So that you're giving them coupon codes and letting them know that you appreciate their loyalty. From there, you can get into more setup stuff. So whether it's your company settings and setting where your trucks leave from, or your phone number, or your fax number, you can do all those types of things. You can get into your edit static pages editor, all the static pages on your front end website, contact us, etc. You could get in and modify those, again, through the editor if you wanted to. You can also lean on our crew to help update those. So that's kind of the gist of the system. I'm going to open it up to you guys, see if you had any specific questions or areas that you want me to dive back into, and we'll take a look. Otherwise, I can kind of give you guys some time to digest everything. I know it was a lot to take in, and then we can kind of set up a second follow-up, taking a look at specific areas that you guys want to look at.
Very nice.
Bravo.
So, the other thing, Rick, just some things I didn't mention. We've got this delivery area lookup, which is awesome. So if you're on the phone with somebody and they're like, am I in your delivery area? You can just click that and start typing and be like, oh, let me look. Oh, no, it doesn't look like you are. Or it would say, yep, this is, and his delivery day would be X, and his cutoff time would be X, and then you can actually start registering them. That's awesome. Some of the other cool things we've added in here, just so you're aware, like if we go to Cheryl Johnson's profile, we've got this view location button. So I can click that, and if I had my KML maps in here, we'd actually see our shapes over this, so you can see exactly where they fall within your delivery area. All sorts of little bells and whistles like that.
So Judd, I had a suggestion. If you go back to that screen,
Yeah.
why aren't the main categories collapsible?
We toyed with that. We went back and forth on whether we should allow them to be collapsible. And I think that kind of out of the gate, we decided that we wanted people to see everything we now offered because it's so much different. Like before, they were collapsed and you would really have to dig to find stuff. Now it's all just kind of out in the open. And most of the pages you end up looking at are pretty long, like search results and stuff. And so, the longness of the menu didn't really affect it. So that was the idea, is just so everybody could see everything all at once. Because we've moved stuff around too. And it's going to be hard for people to find certain functions that they knew where they were last time, So this kind of keeps it all out. Maybe a couple months down the road, once everybody sees it all and they're used to it, I could see adding in the ability to contract those. Like contract products, as you're talking.
Yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of scrolling.
Yeah, there is. There is.
And even if the default was, they were open, to give the ability to close them.
Yeah.
But I can see your point. Maybe wait a couple of months before you do that.
Yeah. I like it though. That's a good idea.
And the only other thing
that
I noticed, like when the customer's registering, there's not an option at that point to put in any type of customer preferences. So I noticed, you showed that at the very end, that they can decide if they want, the newsletter and things like that.
Right.
I didn't see that was an option when they registered.
It's not, and the newsletter really should be. The other stuff I could say could stay hidden under preferences, but the newsletter should definitely come out. And right now they're working on pickup locations. That isn't integrated to the new front end yet. So if this install, like Philly Foods, is only pickup locations, so that's what you would see here. Is there'll be a little field where you can put in your address, and it'll find pickup locations within X miles, and then you choose it, and then you go to the next step. We've got a couple different store layouts. That's why we got store and store 2, Rick. So store 2, the navigation's up top, and you could actually upload an image for dairy, and that would replace this with an image. Store 1 is, nav on the left.
Right.
So that's the difference there. They're working on a couple other templates too.
And by image, you mean they can use either a GIF or a icon?
Like a JPEG or GIF. So in the back end here, when we go to product categories,
Yep.
I could modify this category, and I can upload an image, so category icon. So that would allow me to browse the image library, and I could say I want this yogurt image to be the icon for that particular category. And then it would show up similar to Farmhouse, where they've got these icons, Those are their category icons.
Now, do we have a library of icons, or are they responsible for buying them on their own?
Usually it's dealt with during the design phase. So they hop on and chat about that with the designers, and if we need to design some icons, they can do it. That was the other thing I was going to show you, is when you go into user manual up here, knowledge base articles, these are all handwritten for 9.0. So it's great knowledge in there if you want to look through them. And then training videos, one of the things that people receive before that design phase is, and like here's resizing images for your website with Dave. That's a whole video on that. Intro to design. This will walk them through exactly what they're going to experience during the design phase. So good videos to check out, and you can actually share videos, like get a link from Taylor if you wanted to send somebody a video like this, directly to them. He can give you a share link.
Okay.
Anything?
Were they working on the knowledge base over this week? Because a couple times I was doing my self-paced training and I couldn't pull up anything. It was just a blank screen.
No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, they're constantly adding stuff, but they wouldn't take it down or anything.
Yeah, because it said there was no data.
Yeah, not sure. Anything I was going through that you you had questions on, or that you want to take a deeper dive into?
Not yet. I think this is enough for me to memorize for the next day or two.
Right. Like, let's see here. Let me see if I can find a customer that's got a box real quick, because you probably haven't seen that. Yeah, she's got a box. Let's log in as this customer. So see how I can click log in as this customer, click that link, and I'm logged into the front end as this customer.
Mm-hmm.
Handy tool, so you can be testing and looking at stuff. All right, so if I go to upcoming orders, assuming this is
Why is that giving a error on disabled?
They're working in here right now. Keep in mind, new interface is something that they're updating constantly. So I'm logged in. I went to my account, upcoming orders, and now I'm looking at my upcoming orders, and I've got my veggie box in here, my pumpkin custard, ground beef, etc. The guys have set up all these random recurring items that are boxes. So if I click customize bag on my veggie box, this is what people see when they're customizing their boxes now. So you'll see it says items left to add. I've got 12, and they've broken this into categories, but you don't have to. So I've got a pantry and a dairy category. So I've got pantry items in my box, and I've got dairy items in my box. You'll see it shows the default and the maximum per product. Now it says I've got 12 more items I've got left to add, so I could start increasing this. We'll see that changes. Now it says I've got 4 items left to add. If I try and go over the maximum quantity on this product, gives you a nice pop-up. Sorry, you can only have up to 15 cherry tomatoes in the veggie box. So I'll go over here and I'll start increasing these. And if I try and go above that, sorry, you can't have more than 30 products in the veggie box. So they've set the maximum for the veggie box itself, plus you've set a default and a max per item, and that's per category. So if I was happy with this, go ahead.
So on Jennifer with Good Food to You, who I asked if we could do another demo, this would actually function somewhat in what they want as far as offering meals and putting substitutions in. They could do the same thing here.
Yeah, that's what it's built for. So this veggie box would be called Paleo Meal Plan, and within the Paleo Meal Plan, they'd either have everything just puked out here, or maybe they'd have main dish, desserts, sides, and within main dish, you'd have your default what it comes with, spaghetti and meatballs, but I could reduce the quantity on that, which opens up, I've got 1 item left to add, and instead add the chicken cacciatore. That's how it would work.
Excellent. Now this is all user configurable, right? So where it says veggie box, they can actually go in and change that to paleo.
That's just a product, yeah. So that in the back end here, that's just a product called veggie box that's got products. So
that's it.
So let me show you just real quick how the admin sets that up.
Judd, can they set a maximum per category, or is it just an overall?
Yeah, it's a maximum per category. That's the cool thing. So like this veggie box here in the admin, you go up to show options, and then you go to subproducts. And this is where we've populated what's in it for this particular week. They've made it permanent, so the contents never change, but we could have said this is per week, where the contents change per week or per day, etc. This is where they set their maximum of 30 products in the box itself. This is where they set their default and their maximum. And they could sit here and add a bunch of other subproducts if they wanted to this box. You literally just type the name of something, comes up with matches. I could put bacon in here and say default quantity 0, maximum quantity 3. So it doesn't come with bacon, but I could reduce the quantity on cherry tomatoes, and then boom, that would open up a slot where I could add bacon. And you can do that by group. So like right now I'm sorting by pantry, dairy, etc. I could put that, I could do this per group. So you'll see you can set your maximum for meat, maximum for dairy, your maximum for pantry, your maximum for fruits, etc.
This is exactly what she was asking about on our last demo that I asked you to jump in on.
Yeah, but she wasn't. They were talking about it based on dollar value. Remember, it's not. This isn't based on dollar value. And I was telling her how you could do it, but she just wasn't getting it. So this doesn't tell you how much this costs at all, right? These chili peppers and
Right.
tomatoes. She was saying, well, if they reduce the quantity on chili peppers, those are $1.99. So we want them to have a $1.99 credit, and up here where it says items left to add, it would say $1.99 left to add, and then you could add something, and hopefully it would say, okay, now you got 42 cents left to add, and then you add something else, blah, blah, blah. We work with quantity, and so the way I was telling her that she could deal with that is she could have groups, group 1, group 2, group 3. Group 1 is her expensive items. So she's got a max for that particular group and subs that you can make for that particular group. But I couldn't reduce the quantity on chili peppers and then go down to dairy and increase something. I could only increase it within that group. So she could have her more expensive items in group 1, less expensive group 2, least expensive group 3, and you can only swap within those groups. So that's what I was trying to explain to her, but she just wasn't getting it because she couldn't visualize it, you know? So if we were going to do another demo with her, I would set this up, a product that had group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, throw some products into each group so that she could actually visualize it and see, oh, okay. So like in the back end here, for you to set that up, you can just go to add new product, product name, Rick's Box, create for a family of 4, put in a description, put it into a main category of something, Judd's Specials.
Rick Special, yeah.
Give it a price of $34, hit save. And then now that I've saved it, now I can go to the top, click subproducts. I'll say it does have subproducts. I want the type to be per week. Maximum I'll put in there is 20. And then you can put a maximum for each of your subs if you wanted to. And you'll see this is the week you're working with. You actually choose the calendar and say, I want to populate products for the week of 16th. And then you can start adding products in here. So that's how you set up a main product, and then you start adding subproducts to it.
Now, can I add graphics to the image library, or is that got to be done on the corporate side?
No, sure. So like now that we're on this product, if I go back to the details and I click upload image, it shows us all the images that other people have uploaded. But you can click this icon right here and upload files.
Oh, upload. Okay.
Yeah. So you can upload images off your hard drive into the image library, and then they'll show up in here, and then you can select them and select that for the product.
Okay.
But they've got to be a certain size. I mean, you can't just upload a 150 by 150 image. The design guys have got a very specific size, like 800 by 533 is what it says right here. So you got to know how to crop it and resize it and all that fun.
Yeah, I've got software to do that. I just was thinking about setting up a meal visual, just like I pulled out that lasagna in featured foods. That was a standard library image, but if I could go in and actually set up for the demo, that'd be nice. Yeah, that one I created the other day.
Yep, for sure. For sure.
Cool.
Anything else? Either of you? Eric, other comments?
Now, how do I get a copy of this recording?
I will convert it after we're done, and then I can just send it to Taylor. He'll upload it to YouTube, and then he'll send you a link to it.
Excellent.
The only thing I was going to say, Judd, is just to reiterate to Rick, the importance of going through that front end. Because as you saw, Rick, with Judd's demonstration, I mean, he spent a lot more time on that front end than you did yesterday. And I mean, especially with our new methodology, new shopping experience, I mean, it really highlights how powerful our system is today.
Right.
And then it's important. I mean, Judd does a good job on the back end, kind of highlighting the more salient points, but it's easy to get into the weeds on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd recommend, if anywhere, the back end is more stuff that you gloss over, because I think it, unless you explain it succinctly, there's a tendency to bore people. And that's where I found myself yesterday. It was like you were bouncing from here to there. The screen was going up and down. At one point, I told Judd, it's like, man, I'm getting dizzy just watching this thing. So just be cognizant of that as well. Like scrolling up and down, you have to realize that, first of all, sometimes there's a delay. So you may be talking about an area, and then all of a sudden you've already scrolled down, and you're in a different area than what's being discussed. That type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure that you pause for a brief time on each area that you're talking about.
Yep. One other comment, Rick, is Sheremy has told me twice now that the clients have said that you said that they don't have to pay anything until they're live and up. I know we talked about it earlier with that other client. You'd said, hey, I didn't say that, but she's now got a second client that has said it. So be aware of it. Some of the feedback that clients are giving us is they really like you. They like your personality. They like your professionalism. They like the speed at which you've communicated with them, that type of thing. But they definitely say that when they were on the phone with you, it sounded like we could do anything they wanted, and everything was a yes. And so Cher's kind of spent some time reining people back in lately as far as, no, we can't do that. And they'll be like, well, Rick said that we could, and blah, blah, blah. So we got to be careful about what we're promising. And that's why I really need you to know the system so that you have that definite answer of, yes, we can do that. Or if we don't, let's start giving a little bit of pushback of, we do custom development, but it's something I'd have to run by the crew to see if it's even feasible, that type of thing. Or let me check with the crew, and I'll ping you back on whether that's something we could do or not.
Okay, I will watch that.
Cool. All right, I think I'm good. I will save this out and shoot it up, and Taylor will send you a link.
Excellent. And if I don't get it soon, I will remind you.
All right. Sounds good.